Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Christine Brown has never been one to hold her tongue, and in 2025, fans of Sister Wives are watching in awe as she takes her power back and boldly calls out Kody Brown for what she sees as nothing more than a fake apology tour. A desperate attempt by the patriarch to repair his tarnished reputation while simultaneously sparking new rumors about his secret hunt for a fifth wife. And the drama has exploded across social media, fan forums, and even within the cast's inner circle, leaving no doubt that Christine is done sitting quietly in the background and letting Kody control the narrative, because in her eyes, his recent interviews and carefully crafted speeches about regret, mistakes, and reconciliation with his ex-wives are nothing but a smokescreen meant to distract the public from his ongoing pattern of self-serving choices and questionable behavior. And Christine is making it crystal clear that she refuses to be silenced anymore, telling her followers in blunt words that she sees right through his crocodile tears and staged humility, and that what the world is really witnessing is a man who feels his empire slipping away after years of neglecting and emotionally abandoning the women who once stood by his side. And while Christine has moved forward with her marriage to David Woolley, building a new life full of love, laughter, and genuine partnership, she hasn't forgotten the pain she endured during her years with Kody, and fans believe that's why she's finally speaking out, exposing what she calls his apology roadshow for the farce it truly is, because to her, it's not about mending fences or repairing broken family ties. It's about damage, control, and vanity, an orchestrated campaign to paint himself as misunderstood while avoiding real accountability for the way he treated his wives, particularly during the crumbling of the plural family dynamic that once fascinated TLC viewers. And Christine isn't alone in her critique, as whispers suggest. Janelle Brown also feels unimpressed by Kody's recent attempts to play peacemaker, pointing out that actions speak louder than words, and his so-called apologies ring hollow when contrasted with reports that he has been meeting with potential new wives behind the scenes, quietly exploring the possibility of bringing a younger fifth wife into the picture despite the chaos his family is still reeling from. And this alleged search has ignited a storm of speculation, with fans noting the irony of Kody publicly begging for forgiveness while privately trying to expand his broken household, and Christine, being the straight shooter she is, couldn't resist throwing shade, allegedly calling out the hypocrisy of a man who once told her she was selfish for wanting out, only to now be rumored as seeking another partner, as though women are interchangeable pieces in his endless game of control. And the backlash against Kody has been fierce, with many longtime viewers saying that Christine's boldness is refreshing, a reminder that she has grown into someone who not only found freedom in leaving but also discovered the power of her voice, using her platform to highlight the dangers of manipulation, spiritual coercion, and the toxic cycle that Kody perpetuated for years. And Christine's comments are striking a chord because she's not just venting personal grievances. She's reflecting the frustration of fans who watch season after season as Kody played favorites, neglected emotional needs, and justified it all under the guise of religious obligation, only to later abandon those same principles when they no longer suited him. And her blunt criticism of his fake apology tour suggests she sees his newfound remorse as nothing more than a performance designed to lure back sympathy, rebuild his public image, and perhaps even lay the groundwork for TLC to continue his storyline despite the family's fracture. But Christine has proven she won't be complicit in any more false narratives, and her shade toward his rumored hunt for a fifth wife shows she knows exactly how to dismantle his carefully built facade. And while Kody insists he is a man of faith searching for meaning in the wake of personal tragedy, Christine's counterpoint cuts deeper, suggesting that at his core, he is still the same man chasing power, attention, and validation, unwilling to truly confront the pain he caused his wives and children, and instead shifting blame, deflecting responsibility, and seeking new distractions in the form of fresh relationships. And the tension between these narratives, Kody as a humbled man versus Kody as a manipulative showman is what fuels the current season's drama, with fans rallying around Christine's honesty as a beacon of truth in a story that has too often been filtered through Kody's perspective. And her refusal to play along is exactly why so many people celebrate her as the real breakout star of Sister Wives, because while Kody scrambles to rewrite history, Christine calmly reminds everyone what really happened: years of neglect, favoritism toward Robyn, broken promises about Coyote Pass, and endless excuses about why the women weren't enough. And now, instead of bowing to his narrative, Christine is laughing in his face, calling him out publicly and refusing to let him hide behind flowery words, and that has left Kody rattled, because the one thing he has always relied on, control over the narrative, is slipping further and further away. And Christine's bold stance has only amplified questions about his so-called search for a fifth wife, with fans speculating whether any woman would truly want to step into the mess he's created, inheriting not only a fractured family, but also the ire of millions of fans who have watched the story unfold. And yet Kody seems undeterred, reportedly reaching out through connections in fundamentalist circles, exploring possibilities, and keeping the door open for another wife despite the clear message his ex-wives have sent him, which makes Christine's slam even more powerful, because she's not just mocking his apologies, she's warning the world that nothing has really changed, that Kody is still Kody, and until he learns genuine humility, he will continue to repeat the same patterns, chasing after validation while alienating the people who matter most. And that's why her words are resonating so deeply, not only with viewers, but with the women who once stood beside her. Because Christine has given voice to a truth that too many ignored for too long. And by exposing the hollowness of Kody's apology tour, she's ensuring that his legacy is not one of misunderstood victimhood but of accountability, and whether or not he succeeds in his rumored hunt for a fifth wife, Christine has already won in the court of public opinion, because she is finally free, finally heard, and finally unafraid to call him out for the man he truly is. Christine Brown's latest remarks have lit a fire under the Sister Wives fandom, and as she continues to slam Kody's fake apology tour, the conversation grows louder and sharper, pulling in layers of history, unresolved grudges, and speculation about what really motivates him to stage this sudden wave of self-reflection. Because according to Christine, the Kody she knew for over 2 decades was never the type to admit fault or to look at himself honestly, and the timing of his so-called apologies raises every red flag possible, coinciding perfectly with not only dipping ratings but also with reports that he has been quietly scouting for a younger fifth wife, which makes the entire spectacle reek of hypocrisy. And Christine, no longer shackled by loyalty to him or the TLC machine, is seizing her platform to expose what she calls the performance behind the man, reminding everyone that just because Kody uses words like accountability and growth doesn't mean he's changed in any meaningful way, and she's backed up by years of footage that fans can point to where his arrogance, favoritism, and belittling behavior toward the wives were on full display. And Christine's boldness is not simply revenge, it's empowerment, a declaration that she will not let his carefully rehearsed speeches erase the truth of what really went on behind closed doors, a truth that includes her tears, her children's pain, and the endless excuses he gave when confronted about his neglect. And fans are eating it up because Christine has become a symbol of liberation, someone who took the scariest step imaginable by walking away from the only life she had known for decades, building a new existence with David Woolley that is grounded not in control but in companionship, and her newfound happiness gives her words even more weight, because people can see the stark difference between Christine thriving in Utah and Kody floundering in Arizona, left clinging to Robyn and making desperate bids for relevance. And when Christine says his apologies are fake, it resonates because the evidence is everywhere. Kody didn't apologize when Mary was humiliated by the catfishing scandal. He didn't apologize when Janelle begged him to take her concerns seriously. He didn't apologize when Christine herself pleaded for more of his time. No. His contrition only appeared when the cameras started zooming in on his loneliness and his empire started collapsing, and that timing cannot be ignored. And Christine is not afraid to say that out loud, declaring that apologies given out of desperation are not real apologies at all but manipulations designed to reset the public's perception, and she's even taken subtle digs at his rumor hunt for another wife, allegedly quipping in one Instagram live that it was interesting how some people never learn when it comes to relationships. A line fans immediately interpreted as a jab at Kody's ongoing obsession with multiplying wives, as if adding another to his roster could somehow fill the gaping holes left by Christine, Janelle, and Mary, and the irony isn't lost on viewers that while Kody preaches family unity, he is allegedly courting new women behind the scenes, which makes Christine's accusation of a fake apology tour ring even louder. Because how can he claim to be focused on repairing bonds with his existing children and ex-wives while simultaneously shopping for replacements? And Christine has always had a sharp wit and sarcastic edge, but this time there's a fire in her tone, a clarity that comes from years of suppressed emotion finally bursting into the open. And while some critics argue she should move on quietly, the majority of fans argue that her honesty is necessary, because for too long Kody's version of events dominated the narrative, painting him as overwhelmed, misunderstood, or even victimized by wives who didn't cooperate, when in reality, as Christine bravely reminds everyone, it was Kody's own actions and choices that dismantled the plural marriage, and if anything, Christine is giving the other wives permission to step forward with their truths too, which is why whispers suggest Janelle is increasingly blunt in private about her feelings toward Kody's apologies, reportedly calling them too little, too late, and even Mary, once the most loyal, is no longer defending him, with insiders claiming she rolled her eyes when asked about his supposed attempts to reconcile, showing that Christine's public slam isn't just an isolated jab, but part of a larger tide turning against him, and the cherry on top of this messy cake is the speculation swirling about what kind of woman Kody could possibly attract as a fifth wife, with fans half-joking that anyone willing to marry him at this point must either be blinded by fame or completely unaware of the chaos that surrounds him, and Christine herself has hinted at that ridiculousness, suggesting in her biting commentary that if Kody really believes another wife will solve his problems, then he has learned absolutely nothing. And that comment hit so hard because it reminded everyone of the endless cycles he put his family through, promising change, then repeating the same patterns of favoritism, control, and neglect, leaving behind nothing but bitterness and broken trust. And Christine knows that by saying these things publicly, she risks backlash not only from Kody's defenders but also from the network, which has always thrived on presenting some semblance of hope for family healing. But she doesn't care anymore, because as she has said time and again, she's free now. And with that freedom comes the responsibility, in her mind, to be honest about what really happened, and that's why her words sting so much for Kody, because unlike his carefully worded statements that dance around accountability, Christine's truth is raw, direct, and undeniable, and while he clings to Robyn as his last remaining ally, even she cannot shield him from the tidal wave of criticism building against him, a wave Christine herself has set in motion with her fearless denunciation of his apology tour. And what's more, Christine's confidence has inspired countless fans, particularly women, to share their own stories of breaking free from toxic relationships, turning her into not just a reality TV star but a kind of symbol for self-empowerment, which only deepens the divide between her flourishing new life and Kody's crumbling one, making his every move look increasingly desperate, and the contrast is striking. If history teaches us anything, it's that Kody never really changes. He just repackages himself in the hopes that someone new will fall for the illusion. However, Christine is determined to make sure that illusion doesn't go unchallenged, using her platform to say what so many have wanted to scream for years. Christine's courage in speaking this aloud guarantees that, regardless of how many wives Kody gains or loses, the world will never forget the truth she's so forcefully expressed. Kody's apologies are phony, his remorse is shallow, and until he faces his true shortcomings, he will continue to be caught in the same destructive cycle, chasing wives, chasing control, and losing the very family he claims to cherish.